Things I wish I knew in my 20s. Oh, this is going to be a good one. I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, right now, I've got 40 or 50 questions that are inside my in-bin from you guys wanting to know what I wish I knew in my 20s. Now, I have to say that hindsight is 20/20, so now I can look back 30 years ago and I can say, oh, that's what I wish I knew now, right? Let me start by saying 20 years ago, the internet did not exist. Okay, so in all fairness, I had to go through some of the stuff just like everyone else. But I wish that I would have embraced social media and technology sooner. I kind of put it off and I kind of hoped that it would go away. And I was kind of waiting to see what would happen with it. At the time, we worked completely by referral only. We paid for no paid advertising. Our business was booming. We were all over the city. We had absolutely no interest, no business in going online. Online was for all the people out there. We were here. We were working here. We were booked. We did not need social media. Therefore, it does not exist. Shame on me for thinking that way, okay? I wish I would have known what social media was going to become, and I wish I would have embraced it sooner and learned it and just become part of it, because I feel like I'm really far behind now where I'm scrambling to try to catch up. All right, on social media, I wish I would have started the YouTube channel 5 years earlier. And I kept putting it off and who wants video and who cares and who wants to see people cleaning houses. And I actually had somebody tell me, don't make a house cleaning channel because nobody will watch it. No one cares about house cleaning. I wish I would have started 5 years sooner, okay? So those are the things I wish I knew back then. When we talk about social media, in 2016, I started a private Facebook group for one area of my business. And I'd never been a Facebook admin before, okay? So no fault to me. This is new territory. I've never done this. Facebook groups were new. I didn't really know what I was doing. And so inside that Facebook group, I tried to create and foster an environment where people could come in and they could share their ideas about professional house cleaning as a cleaner, and they could spin ideas with other house cleaners and get those questions answered. One day inside one of those groups, there was somebody that asked, what is the validity of one of my competitors? And as they tagged this person who was also a member of the group, that person felt obligated to jump in and defend themselves. And I didn't know enough about their programs and what they offered to be able to jump in and lend my feedback or assistance or endorsement or any of those things. So I let this weird conversation continue far too long. And it turned into kind of a cat fight. And then miserable things were said. And it wasn't resolved very well. And I didn't really know how to get in and shut the thread down. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I wanted to honor everyone that was having a part of the conversation. But the person who was technically my competitor was just getting crucified. And as I look back on that now, I really regret that moment. I wish I would have known better about being an admin and knowing the shame that I was causing that person. Because it doesn't matter if they're my competitor or not, they should not have had to go through that, and especially in my group. So I really wish early on I would have known how to manage that better, because I really screwed that one up. So I wish I would have learned that sooner. When it comes to Facebook groups, I made a lot of mistakes. And it's great that you guys are still part of my Facebook groups. If you are, thank you very much. We had a bully in our group early in the beginning, and she was just mean and miserable. And one of the things that I recognized really early on was she was lacking self-esteem, and she was hurting, and she had a life of pain. And so she was bringing that and just kind of like puking that on everyone in every thread. And everyone in the group hated her, and they kept trying to vote her off the island. And I didn't want her to leave because I didn't think she had another safe place to go. And I kept hoping we could create a safe place for her and help her find herself and help her find the self-esteem I was hoping she would find by being part of a tightly knit group. And it ended up being, in the end, we removed her from the group and blocked her so that she couldn't, spew her venom all over everyone in the group. And it wasn't fair to all the other members in the group. And so I really regret that now, that I didn't end that sooner, because I kept hoping for the best for her. And in the back of my mind, it was with good intention, but at the cost of everyone else. In that same vein, my company took on a policy of we do not negotiate with bullies. And so if you are a bully to us or to our clients or to each other, you now will be blocked and removed and deleted. But with respect, we will kindly send you on your way, but we are not going to argue with you on the way out the door. We're just going to say, hey, this no longer works. See ya. And then we're going to kind of remove you from our lives. And I regret that has had to happen. It happened inside our business, where there was a bully inside our business. There are two types of bullies, and I've gotten really good over the years to recognize the types. There's one that is intentional, like, oh, I'm going to make your life miserable. I'm vindictive. I'm going to make you pay, right? And then they go about their business trying to destroy you. And then there are other people that are unconscious. They don't know that they're being a bully, and they don't know that they're destroying you. But the little things that they do just tag everybody and bring everybody down all of the time, and it ruins company morale, and it's very destructive, but they don't know they're doing it, okay? And I got this really big weakness and a soft spot for the person that does it unconsciously, because I don't think they understand the devastation that they are causing. And so I want to love them unconditionally, and I want to give them a 45th chance. And I regret not ending a situation in my own personal business sooner, because while I've been bullied, and I'm a grown-up, I can take it, I can totally see through this, I know what's happening, not going to ruin my day, but it was ruining the day of everyone else that came in circumference of that person. And I wish I would have had the foresight to say, you know what, at the risk of saving my team, I'm going to have to let you go sooner. And I wish I would have let them go sooner instead of hanging on to them probably for a year too long. I regret that now. Things that I wish I knew. I wish I knew that at this particular stage of my business, it was going to require so much time and attention from my husband, because I probably would have taken more vacations. And I know that the first 14 or 15 years of our marriage, I was just like plugging along. I was going to, make my business work. I'm getting it off the ground. I'm going through some real growing pains. And I didn't stop to say, oh, if this business continues on for the next 30 years like this, I probably should take some vacations right now. So I kind of put that off way too long. And my husband and I were looking at each other the other day, because we take like 6 vacations a year now. We were looking at each other the other day going like, why did we wait so long before we took vacations? And I was like, I don't know. I thought that what we were doing in the moment was more important. And is it more important than each other? And the answer is no. So I wish that going back all those years, I wish I would have taken more vacations and I would have taken more family time. Now, on the note of family, I have one more regret. When we have family, whether it's extended family or it's relatives that we marry into or whatever, there's a tendency to want to please. And as a house cleaner, I'm a natural people pleaser. And so I was doing things that would hopefully get people to like me, okay? And I realize now that I'm older that those efforts were in vain. There are people that don't love themselves and they cannot love you no matter what. And so it's absolutely futile for you to spin your wheels and your time and your attention and your energy and your emotion and all of your sanity trying to make some people like you who cannot like themselves and they cannot like you. And as I look back on my life, I really regret that I spent so much time on that wasted effort. Because as I look back now, I love them for who they are. They're wonderful people. We will never see eye to eye, and that's okay. But I wish I would have known that sooner, because I wasted a whole bunch of precious time and energy and emotional energy and my best years trying to make something that was never going to happen. So I regret that now. And if I could go back in time, I would have just moved that process on a whole lot faster, right? I would have said, hey, let's all just be who we are in our own personal space. It's okay if we don't hang out together, right? You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. We're good. Okay, so those are some of the things that I wish I knew way back then. And maybe you have to get to be my age before you realize, there are some lessons that I learned. I do want to encourage you this, whatever age you are, wherever you are in your life, stop and take an inventory, because this was a really interesting lesson for me. Take an inventory of the lessons that you have learned, okay? Because you have made progress, whether you realize it or not, whether you admit it or not. And then just be on the lookout for new things you're learning today. Because 10 years from now, you're going to say, there are things I wish I knew 10 years ago, right? That are happening right now today. So take note of the lessons today and let them make you stronger, not make you live a life of regret. Yes, we have the regrets, but it's the regrets and the going through that and learning the lessons and applying the lessons that make us stronger. All right, those are the things I wish I knew. I hope it helps. If it does, give us a thumbs up. If you got questions or comments, those go in the notes below. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.